Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Zach and Trevor with you in the, did you just say Sup G?
Yep. It's that kind of day.
All right, man. You've been listening to too much 90s on 9 on XM radio, but it's all good.
I got to get that back for the trip.
Sup G.
I got to get that back for the trip. I'm going to try to convince Kristen if we can get it back.
You should. Just get a free trial for a weekend. That's all we need.
Well, we've had it. We've had the free trial in the truck before.
Oh, so you can't go
So
that
we
route.
had it when we bought it in August, and then the month is up. So
Just
now,
for 1 month. It's like $12. It's worth it for that weekend, right? And then you can
Let's
enjoy
do it.
NFL playoffs, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
It's a
okay.
Zach and Trevor road trip. I like it.
Let's talk about the Zach and Trevor road trip. Friday night first, we're going up to Selma.
Yeah.
Cross
Yeah,
your
we
fingers
do.
that it won't rain. I don't really like the rain. I mean, I actually do like the rain. I don't like necessarily being in it for hours on
Actually,
end.
you know what? The rain, because we can bring a canopy, doesn't bother me. It's going to be the fog
yeah, it's gonna
where
be
we can't see
cold.
the field, or just that biting, damp cold.
And then we're driving up to Sacramento, your idea, after the game. It's going to be foggy, man.
well,
It's
if
gonna
we
be a
don't
foggy
drive
night.
up, then we have to wait till 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get our room. So we're kind of vagabonds
That's
for
true.
the day.
That's
so I'd
true.
rather just get up and get settled in Rockland.
That is true. So
Plus, I got a big day for you planned Saturday.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's talk about the Southern Cal Regional Bowl game. Southern Cal, just south of Fresno, I guess, is Southern Cal now.
Word.
It is technically if you split the state in half. I think Fresno is just barely south.
You've heard of Palm and Pine, right? Palm and Pine on the 99.
Yeah.
There's a pine tree just north of a palm tree, and that's supposed to be the exact
And where is
middle
that?
ground. It's
South of Sacramento a little bit?
no, it's just south of Madera.
Oh, okay. So, Fresno's basically the halfway point.
Yeah.
Selma's a little bit south of that, but so I guess it is Southern California. Anyway, it's two Central Section teams, and Matt Logue hit it on the head. I think the Selma
You all
coach.
right?
This is
You okay?
This is a great matchup.
Oh, I
was
love this.
swallowing a burp. All right.
No, I love the
You know.
fact that we have such a prolific passing offense against such a stingy defense.
Yeah.
And two young coaches, when you think about it, they're both in their second year as head coaches for the first time. They're, I mean, it's great. I mean, I was going to say that, you have two programs that kind of on the rise, but, Bakersfield Christian has been there before, where Selma, won their first section title since 1980. And
it's hard to see how that will.
they're both, what's funny is they're both sons of coaches. Where theoretically, Roger
Carr wasn't ever an official coach, but he obviously knows a thing or two about coaching
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
and then Matt Logue's dad, Terry Logue, that I've talked about ad nauseum, is a great head coach up at Bear River, where Matt went to high school. So, yeah, and then they both kind of honed their craft under two fantastic Central Section coaches, Paul Goll and Chuck Shadan. And it's really interesting when you think about those guys and then think about the kind of juxtaposition of the offense and defense coming together.
Yeah, and the price of admission would be worth it just to see the possessions in which BCHS has the ball, trying to move the ball against that great defense. But then there's a whole other side of it, and to me, this is really the key, because I think BCHS will be able to score at times, but I think they may have to hit big plays to do it. I don't know that they're going to move the ball down the field systematically against this defense, and so that's why. And we're thinking the same way as we go into our predictions. I put Bakersfield Christian on 24 points. You said 21. They'll hit a couple of big plays.
Yeah.
Selma's kept 9 of its 13 opponents to 8 points or fewer.
Yeah, and three shutouts.
And including 3 shutouts. I don't think BCHS will be held down that much. Of course, they could, and if that happens, Selma's going to win easily. But I think BCHS will score. The key to me is Selma's offense. Nobody really talks about it. Very balanced. Junior Ramirez is a great dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
They can move the ball a little bit too.
Yeah, and Rodriguez is a great running back for them, kind of that heavy hitter, and it'll be really interesting to see exactly what can be done. And I don't know.
And so I gave you one half of the prediction. You actually changed your prediction here.
I did.
Originally, you had BCHS winning.
Well, the thing was I was at home, and emotional day at home, and you'd asked me late, and I was like, oh, that's right, we got to do those. So I went through a prediction, and then I went, no, I want to say yes, but I got to go with Selma on this one.
Yeah, so you go to Selma 28-21, and similar score, 31-24. I do think BCHS can move the ball. I just think when it comes to crunch time, they're going to have to hit a big play, and it's hard to do that against that defense.
Well, and they haven't had to play in a tight game since they beat Wasco 20-16 back in September. Of
course, they played more tight games than Selma.
But here's the thing, that BCHS has actually come from behind the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
They were down to Tulare Western early and went on to round them 53-19. And then when they were playing San Joaquin Memorial, they were down 14-0 at one, but 21-7
Yeah.
in the first half. and turned it around and scored 28 consecutive points to win 42-35. Memorial got a late touchdown that was kind of a nothing because it was with 12 seconds
So we
left.
both take Selma here in a touchdown game, and I think at home, if it was a BCHS, maybe a little more tempted to take the Eagles, but Selma's going to have a good crowd, and frankly, I think overall they're a little bit more of a balanced team, and that may be the difference. So let's move on to the Division 1A game up in Loomis on Saturday night. Loomis should be on the bottom there, the home team. The game is in Sacramento area.
I've always put the home team up top.
That's European soccer style, man.
Yeah.
Everybody else puts the home team on the bottom.
Well, then.
But I'm just telling you. So anyway, point is, I'm just making it clear the game is at Del Oro. BHS and Del Oro have history in these regional games. They have history in the state games. They played each other in 2013. Del Oro came down here and beat Liberty last year. Just two programs that are, okay, they're not quite De La Salle or St. John Bosco or Corona Centennial, but that next tier as far as great teams in California, these two absolutely belong in it. This is a classic matchup.
Oh, yeah. When you look at Del Oro under Casey Taylor, in the last 13 years, they've won 9 Sac Joaquin section titles. This is going to be their 6th state bowl game. They've been to 2 state championships. They beat Camarillo last year. I mean, there's a lot of history with that Del Oro team, just like there's a lot of history with this BHS team. It has to do with 2 head coaches that talk about one thing, and that's the process.
Yeah, and they both obviously have that down pat. Del Oro can throw the ball. Paul Gola mentioned it. They throw the ball more than they did in the past. Same is true of BHS, so they're evolving. Stone Smart, 2,600 yards, 25 TDs, 6 interceptions. He's also run for 772 yards.
We talk about Taj Wright's one-handed catches this year.
Josh Moran.
No, do you remember Mason Hurst with that one-hander down at the 5-yard line against Liberty last year?
Mason Hurst.
Back.
Josh Moran, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Obviously, he's missed quite a bit of the season.
And here's the
with
biggest
injury,
thing, too.
You add in Cam Williams' numbers and Caden Ochoa's numbers, and they look pretty close to that 25 TD, 6 pick.
Well, and you look
ratio.
at it, too. I think the biggest thing for Del Oro in this game is they have 3 3-year starters on the offensive line. So I think the biggest key, like I asked Paul Golan the first 2 segments, is they can run downhill if they need to. And it'll be interesting to see how BHS can defend that.
Bakersfield's game against Central turned when they started getting pressure on Trent Tompkins, the Central quarterback. Now, they were playing better in other aspects as well in the second half, but that really kind of neutered Central's offense to where they couldn't do the things they really wanted to do.
Right.
Now, you're right, though. BHS has a concern with teams running the ball in between the tackles. They've been vulnerable to it all year long, even last week against Central. You have this as a pretty low-scoring game. I think it's going to go higher. I think it's going to be a shootout. Both teams can put up points.
We thought the same thing last week against 2 big offenses, and it turned out to be a 21-14 winner for BHS over Central. So I think you got to
put raining. It could be
you got to put the elements in there. Obviously, it's not going to be a muddy field because they play on a field turf at Del Oro. But I still think this is going to be two teams that are going to be jockeying for position all night long, and you're not going to see. I don't think you're going to see a big score in this one.
Yeah, I think it does get up there. I have 37-33, and I'm going with the Drillers. Toss-up game for me. Normally I'll go with the home team in the toss-up, but it's, something about this BHS team. I saw the 13 team play all year long, and I kind of not quite the same feeling as I had with that 13 team, but I also am not sure that they're not pretty close to that. And if they are close to that, they're going to stand a very good chance to win this game.
I think at some point Carson Olivas is going to have to kick a long field goal at some point just to put points on the board. But then it's going to come down to – I really do think it's going to come down to Josh Moran making the right decision and either running the ball or pitching it off to Shane Jones, or if he sees a guy deep, he finds Justin McGill or Taj Wright and they get a late touchdown. And instead of Del Oro coming down and winning late like they did against Liberty last year, I think it's going to be BHS this time. I have it 24-21.
So with a game-winning touchdown, you're saying in the final 5 minutes or so.
Yes.
I love a specific prediction, and that is that. So you have 24-21 BHS. I say 37-33 Drillers.
It's a fun weekend, man.
You know what? Both of these games are toss-ups. I don't think either one of us know.
Hey, don't forget about the Current Schools Federal Credit Union tournament and boys basketball. A lot of great teams, a lot of great matchups. We actually have Ridgeview Liberty tonight, which will be a lot of fun. That game's over at North.
BCHS and Selma 7:30 Friday night. Follow us on Twitter at BVarsity Live. We'll have video highlights in real time. And then Saturday, listen to the broadcast on ESPN Radio 12:30 a.m. and 98.1 FM, or follow us on Twitter. That's at 7:30 Saturday, Bakersfield and Del Oro. For my producer, Chris McCullough, for Trevor Horn, thanks to the coaches who joined us today. I'm Zach Ewing. This has been BVarsity Live.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Looking deep down the left side, Mendeville into the end zone.